I'm Alan Friedman, and this is Health and Vitality. This evening we're going to be doing a little something different. Instead of starting off with our weight loss segment, we're going to go right into our show, because this is really one of the first shows that we're doing on location. We're in Dunwoody at the Atlantis Natural Foods and Cafe. Some of the people sitting around us are having lunch. And I'm here with Stan Cottrell, who's a motivational speaker, an author, a marathon runner, and really an ultra distance runner. And Stan holds many, many records. One of the most important things I believe you've done is running the Great Wall of China.
That's true. That took 5 years to get the permission, and I felt like that was a record in itself, you know, just getting to China. And it took me 53 days to run 2,125 miles. And I spent 49 out of 53 days in what they call the forbidden zones, where they've never allowed a foreigner to ever go. And over 100,000 people a day came out and waited for as much as 8 hours for me to come through. I might as well have been somebody from outer space the way they responded.
Well, I'm glad you did it, and I'm glad you're back, and I'm glad you're on our show.
Thank you, Alan.
And what we're going to talk about is some of your accomplishments and really how you got started, and some of the things that you've written and some of the things you're doing, if that's going to be all right with you.
Sure.
Okay. First of all, tell me, how'd you get started in running?
This is as old as the hills.
High school run? No, let me guess. You ran moonshine.
Well, I ran after moonshiners, literally. I grew up in the backwoods of Kentucky, a little place called Gobbler's Knob, and when I was 6 years old, my dad would send me out every morning to run the cows, to bring them in. When I was 7 years old, I chased a rabbit for 5 hours one time. That was my first long distance run. I knew I could run long distances. And
Did anybody ever say you were also obsessive compulsive?
Well, one thing, Alan, I've never been accused of being, and that's smart. So I've never had that problem. I'm being facetious, haha.
We'll add in a laugh track for you.
Thank you. But when I was 12 years old, I discovered there was something that I could do well. And it was at the county fair, and I won a blue ribbon. I beat all the high school boys. It was a 100-yard dash. Now, I'm not fast, but at that time, I beat all the high school boys. And I tell people all the time, the basic elementary principle of living a successful life is discover what you do well and do more of it. So in the last 35 years, I've done about 135,000 miles of running.
Now, did you originally start out as a distance runner? Did you run in high school? Did you letter in track?
I started out as a distance runner, but back in the 50s, and even through 1966, that's when I graduated from college, a distance race was 2 miles. That was the distant event in track. And then in cross country, it was in 1965 that when college cross country went to 4 miles. Nowadays, you know, it's 10,000 meters for cross country. And
did you then become a marathon runner?
Well, no one has ever challenged this, and I've said this for years and years and years. I was the first Southerner to ever run the Boston Marathon, and that was in 1964. And of course, it was the 1972 Olympics that we saw the explosion of the running boom. There were people, for the first time ever, virtually in all the little towns everywhere, that you'd see somebody out, just call it jogging, if you will. Yeah.
Do you do anything? Do you bicycle? Do you swim?
I bicycle.
Any cross training?
Well, I bicycle, but I think if I tried to swim, and that's why that a very accomplished runner does average in the triathlon, because you know, no body fat, and you just go plunk, and I'm down there dog paddling. It'd take me an hour to do the swimming event. My running is just a vehicle to touch people's lives, to inspire them, because you see, I think every person has a unique gift to give to the world in a unique way, a unique victory, and a gift of friendship, a gift of love, sincerity, and not only the technical skills, but the world is robbed of millions of victories a day because people either, number one, they never put themselves in a position for a victory to take place, or number two, if they do, they give up 5 minutes too soon. So my running literally is a message to hang on 5 minutes more. Discover what you do well. The world needs your particular victory, because when you succeed, all the world feels that victory. But the world is robbed of millions of victories a day because people
give up too fast.
They give up too fast.
We're running out of time here,
okay.
and I really want to ask you, do you have an inspirational thought, a motivational statement you'd like to give to our audience as we leave?
It would simply be this: live every day of your life as though it's going to be your last. In your work, your love, your church life, every single aspect of your life, live every day as though it'll be your last, because one of these days you're going to be correct.
That's terrific. I'm Alan Friedman, and this is Health and Vitality. I've been with Stan Cottrell and Janine Brown's health food store and restaurant, Atlantis in Dunwoody. I hope you join us next week, and hopefully not hopefully, we will have a good show for you, because we're going to follow your advice. Stanford, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
To achieve greatness, we must merely look inside and gather the gifts God has already placed there. With these gifts, we are masters of the world around us. We can be anything we imagine, do anything we dream.